Hi guys, Robo46 here. Welcome yourselves to round 10 of Robo's Racing League on Valentino Rossi the game. We are at Sachsenring and it is going to be another wet track race. But before we do any of that, we need to do a bit of housekeeping because I did mess up the points in the last race because I didn't realise that the penalties were added after the race rather than as soon as you cross the line. So this is what the points look like after the last race. These are all amended, and so are the team championships. So if you want to have a closer look, just pause it. And we'll go on to qualifying for Sachsenring. It was Dylan who took pole by quite a margin over the two Moorlands who'd done exactly the same lap times. They were second and third. I was 0.033 of a second just behind them in fourth. Brandy Scales was a 10th behind me in fifth. And F1 Fan was a 10th behind Brandy Scales in sixth. So from second to sixth, we were covered by 0.2 of a second. GSXR Matt was 7th, Biker was 8th, FIFA Master 9th, and Tempted DJ was 10th. So let's go start this race. Me on the left, Dylan on the right. Wet Sachsenring. Let's do this. Struggling to get the Pramac Ducati off the line. It doesn't want to launch too well. A little bit wide in the first corner. Dylan's obviously in the lead. Have a bit of collision there with F1 Fan. He comes up the inside. So back down to fourth momentarily as we put it up the inside for this corner. Very long right-hander. Dylan still in the lead and trying to go straight away. And I've got Brandy Scales just ahead of me. Of course, myself, Brandy Scales and Moorland 99 are all fighting for second in the championship at the moment. So I try and get the better of Brandy Scales. He goes a little bit wide there, which allows me to go up the inside, up to second place. Bit of a gap up to Dylan already. I go a bit wide there. Then into the next double left-hander. Brandy Scales comes underneath, and he's back into second place. I'm back down to third, now fourth, because our Moorland comes underneath. Tries to get underneath. Brandy Scales doesn't quite manage it. So I try and get underneath our Moorland. Just about manage it. He goes a bit wide, and now you'll see a Ducati. There we go. A factory Ducati just come underneath and almost take me out. But there was a bit of a incident between Matt and our Moorland. Personally, I don't think there's anything wrong with it. We'll see it twice. But Matt goes underneath and touches our Moorland, and down he goes. I want you guys to decide this one again, but I don't think there's anything wrong with this. I just think Matt went in. He started to go wide, our Moorland was wide, and they just had a bit of a collision, and unfortunately Matt came off worse with that one. So personally, I think that's just a racing incident, but let me know what you guys think in the comments. So we're in third place. Our Moorland is still in fourth. He did drop back after that incident a tiny bit, not a lot though. But we're right behind Brandy Scales, who's actually caught back up to Dylan a little bit. You see Dylan hasn't gone away too much. He's right there. And so are we. So can Brandy Scales get Dylan? Can we get Brandy Scales? Can we get Dylan? Who knows? But we are going to find out when this race unfolds a bit more. Of course, we're on lap number 2. With such a short track, it definitely wasn't going to be a very long race at all. I think like overall the race was like 12 minutes, so it wasn't very long. But trying to get a good run at Brandy Scales as we go down the waterfall, and we got a really good exit there. Really gaining on him, and try and get him on the brakes up the inside. He knows I'm there. We just about get him, so we're up to second place, just behind Dylan. I thought he was going to have a go then into the last corner, but he obviously thought better of it. But he got a better drive onto the start-finish straight. Obviously, I'm on the defensive line as we go into the first corner again. Again, Dylan not that far ahead at the moment. Only 0.7 of a second. Got Brandy Scales trying to go around the outside of us, but that won't work. The trouble with Sachsenring is so hard to pass around here. There's not that many opportunities you get unless someone does make a mistake. So yeah, it is a bit of a pain. Went on the curb a bit there, which made the rear slide a little bit and lose a bit of traction. and then went very wide out of here again. Wait for Brandy Scales to come through, but this time he doesn't do it. So he managed to keep hold of second place for the moment. Still trying to catch up to Dylan. It's 0.9, so it's opened up 2/10. 0.8 back to Brandy Scales. Try not to spin the bike up too much. Obviously the tyre wear is no longer an issue since that update milestone done, so that's a really good thing. We haven't got to worry about tyres completely knackering themselves out, so that's something we don't have to worry about anymore. Moorland has just got the better of Brandy Scales there, so he's just done the fastest lap as well, so our Moorland is on the charge. Dylan is just over a second ahead, and it's not telling us what our Moorland is, but he's right behind us. 0.7. Obviously around the slower corners it looks like they're closer because they're going slower as well. So we'll try and get a good exit out of here. Try and keep it nice and tidy, nice and tight to the curb. Pulled away a little bit there. So 0.9 to Dylan, 0.8 to our Moorland. As we get ready to come through the waterfall again. I made a little bit of a mistake on that second left-hander. I had to slow down a bit too much, but that opened the gap up to Dylan and obviously decreased the gap to our Moorland a bit. You can see that arrow. Our Moorland is trying to get right with us again. And we come around to finish lap number 4 and start lap number 5. So now that we've got a little bit of time to breathe, I just want to say, guys, that I may be shortening this league a little bit, just because otherwise it's going to be going on until next year, and I want to start a new league before then. And I want to know from you guys, what do you want to see us do? Either a Moto 3 league on Valentino Rossi the game, or do you want to see us do a league on Ride 2? Now, what I want to do on Ride 2, a suggestion from our Moorland, is to do a Super Sport League and a Super Bike League. And also another suggestion from Dylan was that to do like a bit like pre-season with this league, where we do 2 races with 2 different sets of people. And then the top 6 from each race would go on to do the Super Bike League. And then the bottom 6 from each race will go on to do the Super Sport League. So there will be 2 different leagues happening, 2 different lobbies, and I want 2 different sets of people in each lobby. So we don't have the Super Sport Leagues doing the Super Bike Leagues and vice versa. But obviously I will have to be in both leagues to do all the recording and stuff, which I don't mind doing. So what I want to know, guys, is what do you want us to do? Moto 3 League and Valentino Rossi the game, or a Super Sport and Super Bike League in Ride 2? Obviously in Ride 2 it could be really, really interesting with the amount of different bikes we're going to have. Even if people are on the same bike, they will have unique stuff on their bike to each other. Obviously custom riders as well, so unique like leathers and helmets and all that, and even riding styles. So I think it could be pretty darn good. But let me know in the comments what you guys want to see in the next league, and we shall soon figure out what we're going to do. So we'll skip forward to lap 7 now. And again, went on the curb there, lose a bit of drive. Dylan's 1.9 ahead, but our Moorland is 0.4 ahead. I cocked up that corner as well, so I'm starting to make a couple of mistakes. I went very wide there and almost crashed, which allowed our Moorland to come through. Up the inside he goes, and he is up to 2nd place. We're in 3rd. Can we get back past him? Brandy Scales a little bit further behind, just losing touch with myself and our Moorland a tiny bit. Pretty much doing identical lap times, but once that gap's there and you're doing identical lap times, it's very, very difficult to try and close it back down. Crash a bit further back from that. Can we get past our Moorland? So we try and close back in on him. The gap's still 0.199. 1.1 back to Brownie Scales. Where can we get this Honda? Gaining on him here. Trying to get a good exit out of here. Switch to the outside. And then up the inside into the quick left-hander. Just about made it through. And we're back up to second. But went a bit wide there. Our Moorland comes back through. And now we're about to have a disaster. As they're going down the hill, I started gaining on our Moorland. Breaking my normal place, but unfortunately tipping just a slight too early. And unfortunately go on the curb. Lose traction. My rear comes round. And unfortunately spearhead into our Moorland. Our bikes then collect Brownie Scales as well. So all three of us down. Now, obviously, looking at that, I would be giving myself 2 penalty points for that because I did make a mistake. Then into the first corner on lap number 9, I made another mistake and just completely outbrake myself. And down I go for the second time. So this is actually the penultimate lap and starting to make mistakes. So at the moment, 4th place. Not sure whether I would have been able to catch up to Brownie Scales or our Moorland, but I was definitely going to give it a go. Obviously, it being a short track, not a lot of time left. Like I said about those 2 penalty points, well, you'll see what happens at the end. So we'll just keep racing for now. So 1.4 to Brownie Scales, so that wasn't looking good. Penultimate lap and everything as we come around to go down the waterfall for the penultimate time. Down we go. And then into this left-hander. And you'll see gravel there, dust, because our Moorland has just crashed. I don't actually know whether he had a similar crash to me and clipped the curb on the inside. But unfortunately that's what I done, and obviously collected our Moorland and then Brownie Scales as well. So at the moment we're 3rd place. 1.1 behind Brownie Scales, so that gap had come down a little bit to Brownie Scales. Could we catch him? I was definitely going to try. And depending what happened, depends on whether I give myself 2 penalty points or not. Trying to catch Brownie Scales. It's come down another tenth, so it's just over a second. I was definitely going to push on this last lap. Obviously, our Moorland not that far behind because of that incident. It has let Dylan escape quite a bit. It's still just over a second. 1.6 back to our Moorland. But we're going to switch to Dylan and see him come and finish his race. Just the the final corner to go. As he starts his ascent uphill and come round to take another win. So back with me now. Brownie Scales obviously still second ahead. Our Moorland 1.6 behind. Down the waterfall for the final time. We weren't going to catch Brownie Scales. F1 fan and Moorland 97 switching positions. There's 1.5 to Brownie Scales now, so yeah, 1 corner to go unless he crashed at the final corner. That wasn't going to happen. But like I said, I was going to give myself 2 penalty points, but then I decided, in fact, I'm going to give the position back to our Moorland. So he goes through to take the 3rd place, and I drop down to 4th. So Dylan goes to take the victory, followed by Brownie Scales in 2nd, our Moorland in 3rd, myself in 4th, Moorland 97 in 5th, F1 fan 6th, Biker in 7th, GSXR Matt ends up in 8th, and then just waiting for the last couple of people. I did message our Moorland apologising and obviously saying that's why I gave his position back, and he said that's cool. So yeah, we sorted that out on track. It was FIFA Master who actually ended up 9th, and Tempted DJ ended up in 10th. So after that, quite dramatic race, a wet Sachsenring. Let's have a look to see what that's done to the championship standings. Obviously, Dylan takes another 25 points, so he extends his lead in first with 225 points. Our Moorland is still in second with 167. I'm 12 points behind in third with 155. 3 points behind me now is Brandy Scales in fourth with 152. Moorland 97 in fifth with 110. GSXR Matt 24 in sixth with 101. Bike It in seventh with 89. Pit Bike Rider in eighth with 80. F1 Fan 9th with 76, so he's closing in on Pit Bike Rider. FIFA Master in 10th with 61. Then we got Paradise in 11th with 26. Gidsy in a 12th with 25. Tempted DJ in 13th with 25. And J-Par Polos in 14th with 5 points. So that's what that's done to the championship standings. Obviously, not taking those penalty points is kind of definitely closed in the championship even more, with Brandy Scales only 3 points behind me now, whereas obviously it would have been a bigger margin. But team championships, Apex Predators starts pulling away from Drag Queens. They're in first with 283, Drag Queens in second with 238. 10 points behind them now, and closing in is Honda Britain with 228, so only 10 points behind. Winging is in fourth with 180. MP Yamaha Racing in fifth with 143, and Pit Bike Masters in sixth with 128. So that wraps up Sachsenring round 10. I do want to maybe do a different league quite soon, whether it's on Ride or Valentino Rossi the game, but I'll let you guys decide that, so don't forget to comment about that. There will be a week's gap as well, so a week's break, because I think we need it with all the games we're playing at the moment. So the next race will be on Monday the 31st of October. And that's it from me, guys. Thank you so much for watching. Don't forget to leave this video a like if you enjoyed it. Subscribe to my channel for more content. And I shall see you guys in the next video. See you!